You've just been pulled over by a police officer. They start asking questions about drinking and driving. What do you do? Hey, my name is Marc Lopez, former DUI prosecutor, and I want to talk to you about the 3 mind tricks officers use during a DUI investigation. Let's jump right in. Number 1, there's 3 phases of a DUI investigation, but the only 2 that really matter for you are what's called the personal contact and pre-arrest screening. That's the second and third. So during the personal contact, that's when the officer walks up to the vehicle. And in that situation, officers have been trained through NHTSA, through all sorts of police training on DUIs, but basically they've been told to be, for the most part, very friendly. Now, we're not talking if someone is hitting cars or fleeing, but just pulling over the average person for suspected, traffic violation infraction. As soon as the officer has a moment to believe a person might be intoxicated because they're smelling the alcohol, person's fumbling, they're trained to be nice. Now, they're not always nice, but they're trained to be nice because officers have talked to me about this in hundreds and hundreds of depositions I've done at my office of DUI arrests. Hey, Mark, you know what? Talk people nice, and they're generally more willing to make confessions. So it's actually in our interest to be nice. So here are the mind tricks that officers are using. Number 1, they're friendly. They literally are at that vehicle in motion side. They're friendly, and they will just talk to you. Hey, what's going on? I have reason to believe you might be intoxicated. Let's talk about that. And they'll do things, just kind of talk back and forth. And I watch the body cam. I see these interactions, and officers are talking to people, and people will look at the officer. I'm not intoxicated. That's ridiculous. I can't believe you're doing this. I want to get out of here. And these officers who are trained in DUI, they'll actually turn it around back on the person who's getting agitated. Hey, listen, I just want to make sure you're safe to get home. And I don't want anyone else to get hurt while you're driving home. Isn't that reasonable? Why are you being like this? Let's just talk. I don't want to spend the next 2 hours doing a DUI investigation. I'd rather you get home safe if you're safe to get home. Is that reasonable? And you'll see people on the side of the road. Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm sorry I was a little bit hot. And the officer, during this second phase, which is the personal contact, he's trying to get observations. Are you fumbling with things? You have red glassy eyes. Are you slurring your speech? They're going to give you what's called a divided attention test. Hey, get your license and registration. They don't need either of those things. They can literally pull it up on their computer, but they're trying to see what you actually get them. And the ones we see all the time is they got me their credit card and their Costco card, but they're trying to see if you can follow 2-step or more directions. Get me the license and registration. See what you come back with. See if you're fumbling. See if you can manipulate your wallet. See how you do in your glove box. And then while you're in your glove box, while you have your interior lights on, they're also looking in the car, plain view doctor, and they're allowed to do that. Are there alcohol containers? Are there anything illegal in the car they should know about? Anything funny in there? So they're looking while you're doing these things and they're judging you, but they're being nice about it so you don't feel like you're being actively arrested or investigated. Now, the second part is a pre-arrest screening. And based how you do on the personal contact, they make the decision to ask you to step out of the car and do field sobriety tests. And again, most officers are very clever about this and they're very smart because they've been trained. They're going to say, hey, listen, I think you're borderline, but I really want to get you home. I'm going to have you get out of the car, do a few tests. If you do well in those tests, I'll take you home. I'll call someone to come get you. Now, in all fairness, I have seen officers call people to come get somebody. I have seen officers drive somebody home. Very rare, very, very rare. But if I had $100, if an officer asked you to get out of that car, do field sobriety tests, guess what? Probably going to go to jail that night. That's just my opinion based on thousands and thousands and thousands of DUI arrests I've defended. But there is an exception that maybe he would drive you home if you do really well, but don't count on that. Now, he tells you he's getting you out of the car to do field sobriety tests. He's still watching for other things. Here is a DUI report. Basically, this DUI report is something that's filled out on every single DUI case in Indiana. And the things he's watching for as he's asking you to get out of the car is, did you leave the vehicle in gear? Did you fail to shut off the vehicle? Were you having problems opening the door? Did you have to pull yourself from the vehicle? Did you stagger from the vehicle? Did you lean on the vehicle when you got out? But these are all things he's looking for when you're getting out of the vehicle to do the field sobriety test. Now, if an officer asks you to get out of the car, you have to get out of the car. That's the law. People argue with that in comments. No, that's the MIMS case. You got to get out of the car. They ask you to. That's the bottom line. Now, he's going to watch those things regardless. Now, you can't really control how you get out of the car. I mean, you can. Don't lean on the car. Don't stagger. If you have back issues, tell them, I have back issues. I'm getting out of the car. But comply with getting out of the vehicle. Now, he asks you to do field sobriety tests. Now, you can actually don't have to do those. Now, that's in Indiana. Indiana, there is no penalty for not doing the stupid human tricks, the eye test, the walk and turn, and the one-leg stand. There's no penalty. Now, if you live in a state other than Indiana, you will have to do your research, talk to a DUI lawyer. What are the penalties if I don't do the field sobriety test? But in Indiana, no penalties. You can't use that against somebody. They don't know everybody's problems. And those field sobriety tests, they're a little bit subjective. Hey, I saw a twitching of the eye. Number one, any doctor or medical professional will tell you that it's absolute trash to use horizontal gaze nystagmus, twitching of the eye, to determine if someone's intoxicated. The one-leg stand, the walk and turn, those were designed under laboratory settings with healthy individuals, not people with back problems, knee problems, people that didn't sleep all night, people that had head concussions. They're not designed for the average person. And in fact, they even say, hey, if you're overweight, one-leg stand, walk and turn, probably not valid. If you're too old, probably not valid. Now, a lot of states like Indiana say, we don't really care. We want to just see how they're doing. It's kind of nonsense. And in my opinion, the field sobriety test, at least in Indiana, can never help you. They can only hurt you. I would never advise anyone to do the field sobriety test in the state of Indiana. Now, your state, you got to figure out what your rules are. But there's no penalty for not doing field sobriety tests in Indiana. They're designed for you to fail. I mean, they tell you, hey, do this test. They're not telling you, hey, if you raise your hand more than 2 inches, that's a clue. If you drop your foot, oh, that's a clue. There are so many things that are not fair about these tests, but they're going to ask you to do them, and they're going to be very nice again. And they're going to dangle this, hey, listen, if you do good on these tests, I'm going to get you home. I'm going to figure out a way to get you home. I don't want you to get a DUI because it makes more paperwork for me. That's what their attitude is. So people have this, oh man, I just do good on these. Maybe I'll go home tonight. It's a mind game. And these officers are smart about it, and they realize being friendly, catch more flies with honey than vinegar. That's the truth, especially with intoxicated individuals. Most people that are accused of DUI are not hardened criminals who hate law enforcement. Most people who get pulled over for DUI respect the police, know they have a hard job, know they're just trying to get home themselves. So they have this hope that person will cut me some slack if I'm cooperative. Doesn't work out that way. And the officers are going to use all sorts of psychological tricks when and if someone pushes back. And I see these firsthand in body cams. After hearing thousands and thousands of people tell me the narratives, I get to see it firsthand in so many body cams now. If someone says, hey, I don't want to do those, I'm not feel comfortable. Hey, I got a bad knee. Hey, my hip hurts. Officers have excuses for everything. Hey, man, I got you have a bad knee. I'll take that into account. There's no way to take a bad knee into account for the field sobriety test. There's no way. It's not possible. Oh, you've had a head injury in the past? Well, I'll take that into consideration with the eye test. No, concussions cause nystagmus. There's no way to grade that on a curve at the side of the road or even at the station. Oh, wait, you're wearing high heels? You don't feel comfortable walking in a straight line or standing on one leg? No problem. Take your shoes off. Oh, you're worried about your foot being on gravel? I'll take that into consideration. It's just garbage. Absolute garbage. There's no way to curve these tests. It's just them trying to get you to comply because it looks better for them if they can mark on their field sobriety test section, the DUI report, failed, failed, failed. If you do the field sobriety test or you don't, officers typically will say, hey, let's do a portable breath test. Now in Indiana, the results from a portable breath test cannot be used against you. So if the portable breath test comes back 0.10, 0.15, that number does not get in. Now, some judges will allow the fact that a person failed the portable breath test or the portable breath test showed the presence of alcohol, but some judges don't. And the reason is officers smelled alcohol. So we don't need a machine saying there's alcohol as well. But it's kind of back and forth. Done lots and lots of DUI trials across the state of Indiana. And how judges deal with that varies. But the actual number does not come in. And that is pretty consistent across the land. Now, officers typically, when they're giving the handheld test, they'll say, hey, listen, you're close. I can tell you're really close. Let's do this handheld test and let's see how close you are. And if you know you're 0.08 or right under, I'm going to get you home, man. I'm going to get you home. So people have this hope. Okay, well, you're telling me this after I did the field sobriety test. You must be nice. You must be wanting me to go home that night. But the reality is that breath test right there, once you do that, you're basically done. So he's going to have you blow into that. And here's the kicker. If you blow under 0.08 on that handheld device, the officer's not going to cut you loose. He is going to ask for a blood test, because he's going to try to figure out why he thinks you're intoxicated. And if it's under 0.08, he's going to think, well, it's probably because drugs and alcohol or just drugs or maybe some sort of combination together. But that's going to seal the deal. Now, if your BAC on the handheld is 0.08 or above, he likely is going to just go down to the station and have you blow at the big machine. Big machine, the results do come in. We'll talk about that in a second. But here's the deal. 99.9% of the officers will never show you the results of the handheld breath test. Never, 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 never. Why? Because at that point, the illusion is starting to dissipate. And if they show you that breath test on the handheld, oh, you're 0.07. Oh, cool, I get to go home. Actually, we're going to take you down for a blood test. But officer, you said. Officers literally hardly ever show that because they don't want to have that illusion completely gone. At this point, though, most people realize they're probably going to go to jail. So the officers never show that number. And the opposite is true as well. Someone blows a 0.15 and they see that, most people are going to clam up. No, I'm not going to do any more tests. I'm not going to blow up the station. That thing clearly says I'm guilty. So officers will typically say, oh my gosh, you are closer than I thought. Let's do one more test so I can clear you. I don't want to lose my job over this, but you're pretty much in the clear. And people will say on the video, hey, can I see that? Oh, I'm sorry, man, I can't show you part of policy. Oh, I just clicked off. It's gone already. Again, officers are maintaining control by giving you the illusion that you have some sort of control or hope not to go to jail that night. Now, in Indiana, when a person is in a cop car, even if they're handcuffed for a DUI, they're not arrested. They're seized, but they're not arrested. They don't have to read some of Miranda rights. Now, the good officers typically will, because attorneys like me will make a giant stink if they continue to ask questions once they're in the cop car. A lot of officers will put people in the back seat and say, you're not in custody. Or state police in Indiana will put them in the front seat because you're not in custody, and they'll continue to ask questions. Now, most good officers will simply say, hey, I have to take you down for more testing. I'm going to read you Miranda rights just because it's a formality. And they'll read the Miranda rights, again, in a very friendly manner. Some people start saying, I guess I'm arrested. Oh, you're not arrested. It's just formality. And they get them into the car, take them down to the station. They've read the Miranda rights, and the officer continues to ask questions. Unfortunately, there's not too much I can do because they read the Miranda rights and they're asking questions. Hey, it's okay, man. Hey, listen, you have any wife and kids? I'm sure you want to get home to those kids too, right? You wouldn't want to hurt anybody on the station. How many did you have to drink? You said one earlier. Had to be more than that, right? Maybe 3, maybe 4. Hey, did you do any drugs earlier today? Hey, man, I get it. Everyone does marijuana. Hey, man, the ones I love, it's officers saying, hey, listen, I get it. I don't think marijuana should be illegal. And people live there like this. Me neither. I love smoking weed. I did so today earlier. Like, people just love to talk. And the officers know if they're chatty, most people are chatty back with them. But people don't realize the officer is totally screwing them over. And that's their job. So they get down to the station. Now, in Indiana, if you don't blow into breathalyzer or you refuse a blood test, you're going to lose your license. If you have a prior, it's going to be 2 years. If you don't have any priors, it's 1 year. That's above and addition to any DUI-related suspension. And so you have a choice to make. Am I going to blow? Most people blow. Most people give blood because I live in Indiana. Can't afford not to be able to drive for years. And so people always ask me, Mark, what do you recommend? I recommend don't drive intoxicated. I recommend don't do field sobriety tests. If you have the option between a breath test at the station or a blood test, do the blood. You do have to submit, at least in Indiana, to anyone that's offered to you. So just understand they're nice. They use mind tricks to try to get compliance. The reality is don't drive intoxicated. People always ask me, hey, Mark, well, what do you do when you go out? Hey, I'll tell you what I do every single time. I have a rule. I have 2 drinks. I'm going to drive home every single time. Now, I'm talking Bud Lights. I'm talking properly poured mixed drink, usually drink Diet Coke and rum. But that's what I do. And sometimes if I don't know the bartender, if I think they're pouring them strong, I'll even say, hey, I want a shot. I want a Diet Coke, and I'll mix it together. And my friends make fun of me. You're a psychopath, Marc Lopez. My plan has worked for me for more than 20 years by doing that. And if I even take a sip of the 3rd drink, well, I get an Uber or I get a ride home because I don't want to get a DUI. I don't want to deal with that. Now, if you're drinking these crazy alcohol content beers, if you have a friend making mixed drinks for you, topping them all, that much soda and that much alcohol, then you can't do my 2-drink rule. It's not going to work for you. But that is what we do here. If you have any questions about DUIs, leave a comment and I'll try to respond to that. If you are facing DUI charges in Indiana, give me a call, 317-632-3642. I would love to talk to you about DUI defense. It's a passion of mine, passion of all the partnership at this law firm. But most importantly, remember to always plead the 5th.